What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over a very simple, very quick Shopify tutorial for complete beginners. This is going to be something that will help anyone learn that maybe is just trying to figure out how to start a store. It's going to be very basic, not going to go into too much detail, but you will, at the end of this video, learn enough to start your own Shopify store, at least just to get it set up. So be sure to check the link in the description. There's going to be a link to a Shopify trial. If you click that link, you'll be able to get Shopify for free for a set period of time. A couple months ago, it was 90 days, but now I think it's only 14 days, which is still good. That's half a month. Shopify is about $50 a month, if I'm not mistaken, so that's half of that off for the first month. So once you click that link or you're on the website ready to sign up, it's going to take you to this page right here. Alright, so you see I put in my information here. Some of it might be blurred out, and I'm just naming it Top Finance Store for the purpose of this video. Next, you're going to want to click Create Your Store. Alright, so now it's going to ask you some questions just to get a better understanding of who you are and what your goals are. So you're going to want to just go through this two-step thing here and fill it out, which I'm going to do right now. Here's a good point that I want to bring up here. It says which industry will you be operating in, as well as what is your current revenue. I think what it means is what is your current revenue and what industry will you be operating in on Shopify. So in my case, I put 0. I'm just getting started, and here I'm going to put I haven't yet decided. Once you answer those, you're going to want to go to the next page where you're going to have to fill in some of your legal information. This is obviously very important to put the accurate and correct stuff here, because if you ever do have a successful store, you don't want to be getting into any problems because you have incorrect legal information. So be sure to fill out the accurate stuff in this area here. Alright, so once you're done with that, you hit Create My Store or Take Me to My Store, whatever that said, and that will bring you to this page right here. So what we're going to be doing is following this area right here, this guide, and we're going to be going down this list to show you things that you can do. But before that, let me just go through kind of what is over on the sidebar here so you kind of get used to this interface. Over here on the left, we have orders, which is pretty self-explanatory. Below that, products, customers, analytics, so the store analytics, the back-end kind of things, visitors, how many people are adding stuff to their cart, and things like that. Here you have a little marketing tab, then you have discounts, which is where you could provide discounts to customers, and then here's a very important one, and that is apps. Finally, below that, you have your online store, which we'll get to in just 1 minute. So the first thing we're going to do here is click Add Product. Alright, so since I'm not actually going to be using the store, at least not right now, and this is just a sample product, I'm just going to put something in here very basic, not optimized at all, since the goal of this tutorial is to keep it short. So we're just going to put in gold ring. For the description, I'm just going to put something basic so you can see it. Alright, so this description is pretty bad, I'm not going to lie, it's actually horrible, but it's just basically here so that way when we go to the store, you'll be able to see something in the description area. It was the first thing I thought of, and it's the first thing that came to my mind. So beneath that, we have media, and you see here I added a ring that I found online. I am not actually selling this ring, it is just for the video. And then beneath that, you have pricing. Now this is an interesting area because you have the price and then you have the compare at price. This is basically how you get when you go to like a Shopify store, it'll say like 20% off, 30% off. That is how you set this up right here. So I'm going to quickly fill this out and then we'll be right back. Alright, so I've added an imaginary price and a compare at price, and I've just made up a cost per item. Once again, this is a very simple tutorial, as you're about to learn when we get down to stuff like inventory. This is where you're going to need to be checking with Alibaba or whatever your dropshipping provider is to find stuff like this and the barcode and all that. I'm not going to be able to do that in this tutorial, but here I've just basically put a price as well as a compare at price, so when people go to the store, if it was a real store, they would see that it's marked down a certain percentage, and that is an enticing thing to them to make them want to buy. And then I just made up, once again, a cost per item. Beneath that, you have inventory, where you'll be able to put the stock keeping unit as well as the barcode, quantity, how much you have available, and then all your shipping information here. This gets a lot more in depth, which we won't be going into in this tutorial, but I will try to make a longer one in the future. So once you're done with that, you're going to want to just hit save at the bottom or at the top of the screen. Now I'm going to be going back to the home page here, sorry about that, and we're going to customize the theme of our store. So you go from add product down to customize theme and hit customize theme. Now, as I'm sure you've all seen, every Shopify store comes with the default debut theme, which we are going to be changing because it's not my favorite. So we're going to be looking at another free theme, and they have a ton of options available. So we're going to be changing the theme by scrolling down here to free themes and explore free themes. Here you have a ton of options of free themes that are available, such as the debut and a whole bunch more. So I'm going to find one here that I like. I think, let me take a peek here for a second. I kind of like Venture and I kind of like Brooklyn. Let's go with Brooklyn. Or no, let's go with minimal for this example. So we're choosing the Brooklyn theme with the 3 styles included, and we're choosing fashion, and now we're going to click add to theme library. Okay, so once you do that, it should be right here under theme library. You'll see minimal just added. Now you're going to go to actions, publish, and then it'll say here that if you publish minimal, it will replace your current theme of debut, and hit publish. Give it a few seconds, and now you see that the current theme has changed, and you can go to customize theme. So here's where things get fun on the customizing side of things. If you look at the top here, you have what your Shopify store will look like on mobile, what it will look like on desktop, and then I believe this is what it will look like on iPad, but I could be wrong because it kind of just makes the whole screen the thing, but this is basically it right here. It actually looks pretty good, just needs some pictures and whatnot. Over here on the side, you have the different sections, and then as well as the theme settings that you can edit. You have the header, which is, I believe, up here, like right here. Then you have slideshow, which is right here. Then you have the featured collection, which is all this. The image with text, map, and then so on and so forth. You have a footer, and then you could add section. You could also very easily move these sections by clicking here and dragging up and down. You'll see on the screen here how it moves. If I wanted to put the image with text right here, I could, but I'm going to keep it where it was for now. I believe that's where it was. And yeah, so now you're going to want to start editing the store. The way you do that is to start with something like header. Just double click that, and you can see when you click here, you could add a logo. So you can select an image and add a logo. You could set the custom logo width in pixels, main menu, announcement bar, and so much more. The announcement bar is like this, such as if I were to do entire 30% off. And I go like that, and then boom, it'll show up there just like that. Beneath header, you have the slideshow, which is this right here. So you could adjust the slide height, so medium, large, etc., etc. It makes it much bigger. If we look at mobile here, you see it takes up much more space. If we go to small, it takes up much less space. So this is pretty self-explanatory. You could change the transition effect from fade to text-sized medium, and then here is where you actually add the contents. So this is for the slide. You would select the image, and then you could change all these settings. It's extremely user-friendly, but that is how you would select this sort of slide area. So this is kind of where you would add pictures of products and stuff like that, just to entice people into your store and to make it look more professional, really. Yeah, so beneath slideshow, we have the featured collection, which is where all your products are. You can't really add products right here. Let me click on it. So yeah, you can't really add products directly on here, but you could. There's a whole bunch of very simple, very easy to understand settings that you can change, such as image, products per row. If you change that to 5, then we'll show 5. If we change it to 3, then there'll only be 3. It's very easy to understand. And this whole editing the theme is more it's more on the layout side of things, right? It's not exactly in the back end, if you will. This is more front end, how things look in the marketing aspect of things. So I think this area is pretty self-explanatory. If I'm gonna keep this tutorial short, I can't stay on it for too long, but yeah, you get the idea. Here's where you edit everything. Here are the theme settings where you could change text, icons, social media, checkout, color, layout, and a whole bunch more. We'll go into that more in a future video. Yeah, but once you're here, you could just change the images, text, all of that. Go to catalog here. This is just another page where, oh look, you could actually see the gold ring that we added. Top finance store, $35.99. Cross that out, $25.99. Makes it look like it is on sale. And it says sold out for some reason. oh yeah, that's because I put 0 inventory. So that is kind of what that looks like. I'm not going to be adding any pictures now, but it will be fairly easy to do so, as I'm sure you can tell. So let's jump out of store and go back to the main home page. So now you're going to obviously want an actual domain name. You don't want to have one of those topfinance-store.myshopify.com because it just doesn't look good. So here's where you can add a domain name. If you click that, it'll take you to this page here. And they even have an option for you to buy a new domain name right on here, so it's very easy to do. You can connect an existing domain name or transfer a domain name, so that way you don't get this My Shopify in your thing. It would just be, for example, topfinance-store.com, or if you have an even better one, such as topfinance.com, it'll look like that instead of the My Shopify. This is very important with increasing the legitimacy of your store and making it not look like some homemade Shopify store, making it more look like a real brand that people can trust. So beneath add domain, we have set up payments, and you could click here to view payment settings. So this is the area where you're going to want to figure out how you're going to deal with payments. There's a few options. They have Shopify payments, PayPal, Amazon Pay, third-party providers, alternative payment methods, manual payment methods, and then whatever this is, payment capture. So for this video, we're going to be going with Shopify payments just because it is the most popular and honestly the easiest option that they have. So you're going to want to click complete account setup. Alright, so once you click Shopify payments, this is where you're going to want to make sure that all your information is definitely correct, because this is kind of like the legal side of things. Not completely, there is more of a legal side where that is very in-depth, so we're not going to get into that, but this is where you're going to want to make sure for payment purposes that everything is correct. So you have your business type, your employer identification number, which is optional, street address, city, zip code, state, personal details, your name, the last four of your social security number if you're in the United States, product details, customer billing statement, and then obviously your bank information so you can get the money. And then right there you click complete account setup. So that kind of brings us to the end of this tutorial. It is a very basic tutorial, but now you should have a Shopify store set up. You might not have a product on there, it might not be fully optimized, etc., but now you at least know the basics. You know how to work all this here on the side, you know how to add a product, you know how to edit your theme, and much more. Be sure to click the link on screen to check out another one of our Shopify videos, which will cover things such as apps and way more to help you build your Shopify store. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you all in the next one.